Hey, what's up, guys? Lori and Scott. Hope you guys are doing well. Just gonna wait just a little bit and then we'll get started. Before we do get started, go ahead and download this paper here. It's what we're gonna use to go through has a couple of tabs on there, a couple downloadable stuff. So yeah, if you don't mind checking that out for me, we'll be going through this. And if you have any questions, shoot it on the chat. I'll see it. Gosh, so many, so many. Oh, my bad. Guess it's not shareable. Let me see. Okay, you know what, guys? Sorry about that. Go ahead and try this link. It should work if it didn't already let you in. All right. Hey guys, Alexander, Amelia, welcome. Gonna give it to like 4:05 to get people in here. If you can please download this link in the Zoom webinar chat. We'll be using some of the downloads in this. And it's like a good, what do you call it? A good syllabus. And guys, if you don't mind, shoot me a message here. Let me know like what skill level you are, beginner, intermediate, advanced. If you don't mind, please putting a message on the chat. I think I'm looking, yep, I'm looking at the right chat. It's not going to be the Q&A because it's kind of confusing sometimes. There's a Q&A on the right and then there's a chat. So make sure that chat is open. And if you can please, um, please let me know. I blacked out for a little bit. If you can let me know your skill level. So intermediates, nice, good, good. Lori, what skill level are you? And Alexander, what skill level are you at? We'll start in 1 minute, guys. Please make sure you download this. Very beginner, okay. This is kind of, I'd say like intermediate level. So just a heads up, you might be able to get some understanding. And what about you, Alexander? Good, I'm glad. I hope it does. So I am a high school teacher. I just finished my class teaching high school. I teach guitar in high school in Texas. And yeah, it's just a long, long day, and I barely made it. We're teaching online, and I think we're going back next week, maybe. And so I really wanted to do a class here. I like teaching these little these little classes here. It's just cool. But the weird thing is I don't hear you talking to me. So like I just have to guess where we're at. So please feel free to like message that helps a lot. Okay, if you guys like shoot a message here, I'm going too fast or just like what's up or whatever. It kind of reminds me that I'm actually teaching humans and not just a camera. And I have no water. Of course I don't. It's all good. I have my donuts here. I snack on them all day. It's terrible. I need to break that habit real soon. Okay, anyways, it's 4:06, guys. Let's get to playing. Alexander, whenever you can, please shoot me your skill level. I'd love to know what skill level you are, even if you're a beginner. That's totally cool, man. Totally cool. Okay, so Scott O'Neill, you are needing speed. So speed just isn't always the coolest. I guess, yeah, it's pretty cool. But how do we get there? So first off, guys, we're gonna look here. We're gonna go click that. We're gonna look at the first part. We have pentatonic scales in all positions. Okay, when you click that link, it's gonna automatically download. Really cool little technique I learned how to do. Really, really cool. So you go ahead and push that, and there it is, downloaded. So I'll download that. And I have a computer screen over here, so I have one here and here. So if I'm looking over here, I'm not distracted. It's just where my computer screen is. All right. So we're looking here at pentatonic scale shapes now. And I'll leave my chat open. My chat will be over here. So if you guys see me looking over there. Okay, so pentatonic scales. What are pentatonic scales? Does anybody know what pentatonic scales are? Just shoot a little message there. What are pentatonic scales? Does anybody know? If you don't know, just say no. That's also fine. I encourage participation. Basic scale, 5 notes of the 7. Okay, so you probably already know this. You're probably like, oh God, some more pentatonic stuff. Don't worry. When you go over all of it, then all of them in the different positions, you get to see little tricks here, okay? So a blues scale is different than the pentatonic scale. They're similar, but they're not the same. The blues scale adds 1 note, and the pentatonic scale, it does not have that note, okay? A blues scale is a pentatonic scale with 1 added note, okay, just to put it simply. And maybe we'll touch on that, okay? So if we look at this, the important thing that we know right now is that we're in the key of C major or A minor, okay? If you don't know exactly what that means, it's no big deal. Don't worry about that. But we are in C major, A minor. These are the notes that will work within that key. And I'm just adjusting my screen a little bit here, guys, so I can see this pentatonic stuff. Okay. Very cool. So these patterns, we're going to start off. I want you to do this. Okay. We got pattern 1. You have 0, 3, 0, 3, 0, 2, 0, 2, 1, 3, open 3. Okay. I want you to be very precise with what fingers you're using. So I want open 3, open 3, open 2, open 2, 1, 3, open 3, and then back down. And they all resolve, they gravitate towards A. So I could essentially play that open A power chord, and it'll be like a resolution. Okay? Now, the theory behind it, I just don't have enough time to go through the whole theory part of it. I'd be glad to if you guys decide to take some lessons with me. We can definitely go through the theory part. My degree was in theory. I did like half like theory and then half commercial music. So we got that. One thing I want you to do is always alternate picks, okay? So that means down, up, down, up. Down, up, down, up, down. Then back down. You can finish on that power chord, like I said earlier. Okay, pattern 2. Actually, before we do this, okay, pentatonic scale. Penta means 5, right? A natural scale would have 7 notes. A pentatonic scale omits 2 of those notes. And I think I even explained it a little bit here. We have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 scale degrees. We're missing 4 and 7. The 4 and the 7 are known as tendency tones, as you can see in the document that I put on there. I don't know how to see you and look at the donut. Oh, okay. You know what? You can split it. So I would make me like on this side and then you on this side. That's usually what I do. This is just like the screen over here has like a bunch of random stuff, but this screen has me and then whatever me and my students are working on. So it's like split between two. Okay. So anyways, where was I? The pentatonic scale, right? We're omitting 2 notes. These are called tendency tones because they have a tendency to want to be, they want to resolve somewhere. So there's dissonance in them, okay? For example, and this is just an example, if I were to be playing a C major scale, that's a tendency tone, my F, because it wants to resolve there. So that's my 4th. Notice that the 4th is one of the notes omitted. Okay, so we get rid of that note, and we get rid of that note because it has a tendency to want to lead up into or to resolve there. Okay, so we want to get rid of those notes again because there's dissonance in them. So the pentatonic scale in a way makes it very easy to improvise, okay, to solo. All right, so now that we went through pattern 1 and got some basic terminology out of the way, and again, you know, this is just really, I'm touching on little things. It's hard to go through the whole thing without taking up the whole time. So pattern 2, now we're starting on a G note. So for instance, I'm going to put on here our notes. You'll see on here our 5 notes of the pentatonic scale that we are doing right now are A, C, D, E, and G. Pattern 1 starts on open E. Pattern 2 now starts on G. So here we've got 3, 5, 3, 5, but you'll notice that our finger numbers are 2, 4, 2, 4. So I want, yep, we're going to use that pinky. Okay, we're going to strengthen the relationship between 2 and 4. And again, always alternate picking. Up. And then the next part we've got 2, 5, 2, 5. I like to break it down 2 strings each. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. So we have 1, 4, 1, 4. So putting that all together, you have, and then it still resolves on A with an A power chord. Okay, so then we've got, then the last 2 strings, the high strings 2 and 1. Excuse me, too many donuts today. We've got 2, 4, 2, 4. Same thing as the 6th and 5th strings. There we go. So that is a different pattern of the pentatonic scale. It's the same pentatonic scale. We're just starting on a different note, okay? But we're still in A minor. We're just starting on a different note within that scale, okay? Again, the notes we're using, A, C, D, E, G. The last pattern we started on E and use the same notes. And then now we're starting on G. Okay, so we're learning different, what am I, there's a word I'm looking for. Different positions, okay, of the A minor scale. Pentatonic scale. I was teaching the harmonic minor scale earlier. So now pattern 3 is probably your most common one, okay, because this is in what we call root position. Root position means it starts on A. Okay, So now here we're starting on A. We have this. It's a very easy pattern to do and get fast and really start from. I love starting from that position. I think every guitar player likes to start from that position. So we got 1 4 1 3 1 3 1 3 1 4 1 4. So many licks can come out of that position, okay? I mean, anywhere basically, but that's going to be a really, really main prime time position there, okay? So again, I'm going to keep moving on. Pattern 4. So why do I have to learn all these patterns? It's a good question. When we solo, we don't want to play, I don't want to like hear a song and play. It's not the point of it. Okay, the point is that now we're getting the hang of what notes I can use. Okay, all these patterns can lead to somewhere else. So like, let's say I wanted to change keys. Instead of being in A, I wanted to be in D, right? I just take that pattern over there. By knowing these patterns as well, I get to create my own licks. It's like, okay, well, if I know I could use that note and that note and that one, I could start building little licks from there. Okay, just by knowing what notes to know. Okay, so like the step one basically is what notes can I use? Okay, so this breaks down what notes you can use without the tendency tones, right? Because that's hard to say. Tendency tones, tendency tones, tendency tones. Try to say that like 4 times fast. I can't do it. Anyways, so pattern, I'm going to let you guys work on these yourself, okay? You can do this at home. You can work pattern 4, 5, and 6. I would do them all. Okay, get used to them all. Also, you'll see that I do YouTube. I do have Instagram. So if you guys want to shoot me a follow, shoot me a sub, that's cool. And I got a random email somewhere, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I also write a lot of music, guys. I work with artists. So that's what I do. Are these all No, no. This is the major pentatonic would be on pattern 4. Pattern 4 would be our major pentatonic because we're starting on C. Okay, and again, this is like a little bit more, not advanced theory, but no, the minor one would just be like root position. Okay, and so like you can like argue it. Okay, and honestly, the names aren't too important. I don't approach thinking about these with names like, okay, am I minor or major? I just know the pattern and then I go from there. It's kind of like how Alan Holdsworth would take that. I even think Joe Bonamassa uses that approach. I know Andre Neri does. A couple of other really big guitar players. They don't think about modes or this or that. They just know, okay, these are the notes I can use. Let's go. Okay. The modes are great if you want to, like, let's say I want like a Spanish kind of sound, then I'll shoot for like Phrygian. Right? I don't know if I wanted happy, then major, so on and so forth. The different ideas that I'd go for, but that's just a little advanced. Okay, so here we'll get into some more modes. So now let's go on. We're gonna go over to this other section called diatonic scales. And Scott, I hope that kind of answers your question. It's just when it comes to modes and all that, man, I mean, I really got to sit down with a student and talk to them about it. It'll just take too long. Take too long to explain it all. And like the how I approach it all. So let's look at this diatonic scales. I'm going to download this one. Let me open this. Where is it? Okay, came back over here. All right, let me fix it to my screen. Okay, so here, now we have 3-string scales. Okay, so these are natural scales and they have 7 notes. So now we are using the tendency tones. Okay, so Usually when I start off a solo, I I will start off like strictly pentatonic, okay? Because it's like testing the waters, it's being safe. And then when I start feeling more comfortable, then I'll throw in more tendency tones, okay? Because to me, they're a lot more flavorful. Actually, nowadays, I don't worry about all that. I just do it. I've been doing this for like 15 years and released a lot of music. And I don't know if you guys know who Khalid is, but he's like one of my dudes that I work with. He's huge, man. Huge, huge, huge hip hop artist. And Carlos Santana's producer. Learn solfege. You don't really need to know solfege. Like I said, man, it's just a deeper conversation. It's like much deeper, and I gotta like see you face to face and like talk to you like firsthand. So here we got three string scales, okay? Now we're gonna start here on the second fret. And these are recommended finger numbers. You don't have to do that, but these are recommended. So I got, these are also called three notes per string. Okay, so you'll notice that the pentatonic scale was two notes per string, right? We played two notes per string and then we switched to the next one, next, next, next. Here we have three notes per string. Okay, and that's our first scale. This is A minor. The modes, what you heard me talking about earlier and what Scott was bringing up, the modes are called Greek modes, and they were back. I don't know, man, I don't know, forgot, man. That was all like college stuff. You learn it and then you forget it. I think it's so important to do that. As much as I loved, well, no, I didn't love school. Never mind. I take that back. I didn't love school, but I finished it. Um, but I just learned so much more just by doing things and working with artists rather than putting names on everything. But these modes, okay, think of it as a different starting point. So right now, all of our notes are still A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then it just starts over A, B, C, D, E, F, G. The A is going to be A Aeolian, okay? This is a natural minor scale, root position. Sounds. Okay, and of course you can use the tabs here. And I like to alternate pick it. It's kind of difficult to do it with three notes per string because I find a lot of students want to go one, two, three, and then also down again. So down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, which there's nothing wrong with that. That's called economy picking. But there's a sound that I personally like, alternate picking, because what happens with alternate picking is a down pick sounds different than an up pick. A down pick is a little more accented than an up pick is. And so when I'm playing with a metronome with a drummer, typically we want that down accented as opposed to an up note accented. Okay, I know that's like a little like technical, but if you start now, then later on it just becomes easier. So I like to go down, up, down, and then up with my right hand. I'm talking about right hand. You could palm mute it. And so it sounds very musical to me. It sounds very even as opposed to, but maybe because I kind of suck at it, I kind of not good at the economy picking. Much better with alternate picking. The next one, here's A. I'm going to take it up to B. And we're still playing the same notes. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, F, G, all over and over. But now our starting point is B. So that's why we call it B Locrian. Okay? It's not a big deal, the names. Trust me. Just the position. The position is much more important. Okay, and slowly. I mean, I don't mean to be playing too fast. See, and also notice, like for beginners and you guys, my thumb is behind the neck. It's not up here. I always keep my thumb like this. Um, I went the classical guitar route instead of jazz. You know, in college you go one or the other. And I just, I'm sorry if you like jazz, but I can't stand it. I don't like jazz at all. And so I went classical route, um, like the Spanish kind of stuff. And so the technique, I brought that over to the electric. And so I use this technique, and you'll notice that my hand is very curved right here. My wrist is straight, and I'm just playing with the tip of my fingers, just like that. Okay. Thumb isn't out. That's like rock and roll technique, which is cool. It's fine. Sometimes I'll use it if I want to get dirty. I'll bring the thumb over. That's fine. But for the most part, my thumb is left right behind here, nice and pretty, tucked away. Okay, so on and so forth. Okay, I want to keep going because I got around 20 minutes. So the rest of these you can, figure them out. You have them here at least. Okay, you have the free paper. The top numbers are recommended finger numbers. You don't have to use that, but to me they're very practical. Okay. Dorian, Phrygian, and so on. So this all adds on to the pentatonic scale, okay? This is all about knowing what notes you can use to build solos. So you can add those on top of those pentatonic scales, okay? Pentatonic scales just don't have those tendency tones, whereas the natural scales do have those tendency tones, and that's fine because they can get very tasty. For example, like I'll do something like let me see. Or like if I'm doing like Spanish music, I do Latin music. I'm a Latin artist, so like I'll do stuff like. There's my ninth or my seventh. It's like a Santana note. Okay, Carlos Santana, he's my boy. Okay. So we got those 3-string scales out of the way. Okay, so now the next part is finding key notes. Okay, what's a key note? So I would say these are your 4 key notes just for starting. Okay, you can always get more advanced and see what you want, but I would say C, E, G, and A. Okay, so now this is where you have to kind of have an instructor. Okay, it would help to have an instructor going through this. So I would find C, which is 5th fret on the 3rd string. Now, why these notes? Okay, these notes are very common in that scale. Okay, they're safe home notes. Okay, and like I said, it's just a little bit more to it than I can add in a 50-minute session. Okay, so you got C. C is also over here. So I'm locating all these notes. C, C, up, C, C, C. Okay, cool. Now I would find the next one. Now E. So I'm finding all these notes. Then I'll find G and A. So watch, I'm going to show you a little trick. I should have put maybe A in the front because A is probably the more important of them. So if I find A, there's my A right there. If I come up with a lick on A using the pentatonic scale, let's say I did something like something simple. Okay, nothing too difficult. So we got 7 on the 4th, 5 on the 3rd string, and then 7 on the 3rd string. Okay, I'm following the pentatonic scale here. And you also notice my thumb is out here. Like I said, when I go to rock blues mode, I'm over here. When I'm in scale shredding mode, then I got to bring that back and do that thing. Okay, so that's just me. It's what works for me. Okay, so anyways, we have this lick. Okay, cool. I can move that different places. If I find A, there's my A. Here's my A as well. And it's the same exact fingers. 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, right? And then I could even move it even further. Kind of cool, right? And I'm just finding that A. Okay, the only exception is when it's on this string. Because the G and the B have a different relationship in between, intervallic relationship, as opposed to the other strings. Okay, but again, that's like more detailed stuff. So and then from there, I like to build riffs, okay? Or licks, whatever. You could throw in, okay, so like we found keynotes. We went to finding patterns, and I didn't even know it, but we went to finding patterns. This is what I mean on here by finding the patterns. And you could build up on that. Kind of cool, right? It's pretty cool. Interesting how it works. It's not that hard when you really think about it. Okay, so is everybody still with me? Are we still awake? We're still okay? Give me like something. Throw me a bone on the chat. Throw me a bone on the chat. Say yes, I get it, or no, I'm totally crazy. I'm talking about me. I'm not saying you're crazy. I'm saying that I'm crazy. Okay, still here and learning. Okay, good. Good. Okay, so we found some patterns, right? Let's like build up a little bit on, I know I'm pretty crazy. Let's build up on some of these patterns a little bit more. Okay, so some of those licks. Okay, you can do that. To make it a blues scale, Scott, check this out. Just add that pinky right there. That's your blues note. Okay, the blues note is what we call a diminished fifth. Okay, so like for example, if you were doing pattern 3, the diminished fifth would be right there. It's known as the devil's interval. No joke. No joke. Because they wouldn't play it, I think, in the mid-centuries, what was it, 1500s? Somewhere around there. And then Bach really popularized it around the 1650, somewhere around there. I think he was born. And that Bach really, brought that out. Yeah, really cool music history regarding that blues note. And so then we could go all into blues about Robert Johnson and selling his soul to the devil. This and that is really, really crazy history stuff. Really cool stuff. But anyways, you can add that in rock. I always do that, man. Let me see. I'm gonna throw on a little bit of dirt. A nice little lick that I'll do is like, so it's like a quick touch into the blues. Right? Because that note is actually not natural. It's not part of the scale. It really stands out. Okay, so when you really touch up on that note, man, it adds that really soulful flavor to it. Really cool stuff. Really, really cool. And you could go on. You could bring that up to the 9th fret on the 3rd string. And there I'm using the pentatonic scale from the 2nd position. And resolving up to A. Okay, so all of this is all just those patterns, you know. And I'm like fixing this this necklace here. There we go. My daughter has the other half of this, so always wear it. Always wear it. It's kind of a passing tone, yeah. Man, I forgot the legitimate meaning of passing tone. It is not of the scale or or the chord. It's just kind of passing through. Yeah, you can call it a passing tone. I think it's so common nowadays that I wouldn't even worry about that. Honestly, Scott, I wouldn't even worry about theory. Theory is so dumb. I hate theory. Like an ornament. Yeah, it's like an ornament. Exactly. No, I'm just kidding, guys. I don't hate theory. It's just, I don't know, man. I think people get so caught up with music theory and the educational part that you miss out the soul of it, you know. Um, in my experience, I think the best musicians didn't go to school. Yeah, a lot of guitarists hate it. And they'll argue with you about modes all day, and it's just like, I don't care. Anywho, we've got here bending. Okay, bending is our next little thing. Okay, so bends are fun. Okay, so if we revert back to pattern 3 of that remember how I told you we're going to keep going back to it, it's going to pop up a lot. Pattern 3 of that pentatonic. So notes you want to bend. Okay, notes you want to bend. We're going to go back to this pattern. Remember that one? Where we learned those licks, right? And you know what? I'm going to not put distortion. I'll make it clean. Okay, you want to bend the 7 of the 3rd string. Maybe that was too high. You can bend that one. That's one note to bend. You can also bend the 8th fret of the B string. And here, typically I use my 4th finger. If I'm doing a fast scale run, you know, if I gotta do something fast like that, I'll do that. But if I know I'm gonna bend, you know, I'll do something like that. And then another little trick that I like bending this note a lot. It's not part of the pentatonic scale. It's the note right under the 8th, so it'd be 7. And I bend that one up. It adds like kind of like a Latin feel. It's also this note. Very cool stuff. There it is. Very cool stuff. Yeah, very, very cool. So those are a couple of notes that we can bend. Of course, we can, go into more detail, but I just don't have that time. Okay, so we can do half step bends or whole step. Okay, this bend, the first one that I showed you, you want to hit that note. So basically you're bending up to another note. The 7 wants to bend up to that note. But what's cool about this is you can bend a little shorter and get into the realm of this note, of your blues note. And I don't like bending in tune all the time. I know that sounds like ridiculous, but I remember watching John Mayer talk about this. And if you haven't heard John Mayer play the blues, he's insane with the blues. Like, that guy is insane with the blues. Anyways, he bends like microtonally, not necessarily in tune, but a little out of tune to give it like a vocal flavor, okay? Back like in the Mississippi Delta, they would sing, and it would not be perfectly in tune. You know, there were those imperfections, and that's what makes it very soulful, okay? You just want to be careful with that, and you gotta have the experience to do that. Okay, anyways, we're gonna move on just so we don't run out of time. We're gonna go over vibrato. 2 different kinds of vibrato I think of, okay? I got, what do we have first? Classical vibrato. Classical vibrato looks like I'm playing a violin. So my fingers in one spot and rocking back and forth. That is the idea of classical vibrato. Very pretty stuff. And it's very subtle as well. Very pretty. And then we also have rock and the blues vibrato. Okay, so that one, this is where, see my thumb? Thumb is hidden. And then when I go to rock, blues vibrato, you have more of a down up kind of motion. See right there, that was kind of like a little out of tune bend. So like I'll mix a little of the two. A little bit of classical vibrato. I think I went. I think I'm a little bit out of tune. Am I? Yep. Probably bent that string a little too hard. I haven't played this guitar all day. So it's okay, she's a good guitar. Okay. All right, so those are our two vibratos. And last, we've got some additional techniques here. We got slides, legato, and tapping. So slides, how would I do that? I think I did it when I was messing around. So you play a note first, and then you slide up without the use of plucking. Or back down. Very cool. So those are slides. Legato is my favorite. Legato is hammer-on and pull-offs. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but it's when we pluck once, kind of just let it go. One of my favorite techniques too. So like if I want to do like a fast run, let me see, I'm gonna throw on some heat here. If I want to do like a fast run, then I love to use legato. So I'll do something like, whoop. There's a lot of legato in there. There's some picking, but there's a lot of. See, I only picked once. And so it's like economical. So if I did like other runs, like if I wanted to get from one end to the fretboard to another, there's a lot of legato on there. I don't know if I could do that lick slow. Okay, so I was picking very little, if you noticed. Another one you could be like. Okay, so I'm picking just one time per string. Legato. And it's smoother, but it doesn't have the accents that alternate picking does. So like, for instance, alternate picking, I'll do. If I'm alternate picking everything. Versus legato, that was my legato. alternate picking. So there's just two distinct ways to get the job done, but of course, you want to mix and blend them. Um, One of my favorite guitar players is Al Di Meola. I don't know if you guys have heard Al Di Meola before. He's amazing. I mean, of course, but he's also a crazy alternate picker. Like that's like his thing. He is alternate picking like 101. Man, that guy's insane. So check him out if you can. Al Di Meola. Who else? Who's like Legato's like super good at legato. Nowadays, that's like Tom Quayle. He's really good. He's kind of a new guy, maybe in his like 40s. Really, really good. Legato player. Really good. Super smooth. Sounds really good. So again, both of them have their very distinct feel. And last, we've got tapping. Tapping is fun. So tapping is kind of like legato. Right, you use your right hand now and you're tapping. No pick. Okay, no pick, and I'm just going like let's see. Sorry, I didn't warm up. And I dropped my pick over here. But anyways, that's kind of what it is. You can do stuff like fun fact, I used to do that when I was like 17, and I would get ready before my band at the bars and the clubs, back when we could actually go to bars and clubs. And I would play that for people, and it was just so cool. My band hated me for that because I would show off, but whatever, I'm a 17-year-old kid, whatever. What do I know? Okay, so these are pretty much all the techniques we'll go over. You have these PDFs here, 3-string scales and the pentatonic stuff. I think they're very helpful. Are they the end all be all? Absolutely not. Their guitar is just such a big journey, right? What's fun is the journey. It's not like the end result. It's the actual journey. Okay, guitar is one of those things. And if you guys want, I have here some more where I like to buy my gear. I'm not trying to sell you on stuff, but this is where I like to buy my gear. 12 months, no payments or no interest, and they don't check your credit if you haven't heard of Zounds. So if you want to get some new stuff there, really cool. So this is the book that I wrote. I've written 2 guitar books. The recommended book to study right there will have a bunch of exercises getting you really ready for like some serious shreddage there. It's like a culmination of like years and years of like having different lessons and then finally just like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna put it in a book. So I did it. So it's right there. If you're looking at the document, of course. And then I'm so glad, Lori. I'm glad you picked up some new things. And then if you want to go into a little more detail, I did do a free online guitar soloing course. It's on there on that YouTube link. So if you want to check that out, it kind of expands pretty much on this. YouTube channel, had to put that on there. So if you guys want to check it out, I put up some lessons. I do write my own music. And again, I'm not trying to sell you on stuff, but I put out a lot of music. We were gonna get a deal with Sony Mexico. I was like this close, and then Corona hit, and so we're gonna push, get with the thing going again. So hopefully that goes well. But anyways, you should check that out. I got original music on there, and finally at the bottom is my Take Lessons profile. So if you guys wanna hit up some lessons. Let me see, how would I do this? Copy link address. Maybe it's like this. Yeah, there it is. Also, if you guys want to inbox me some questions, let me know. I think there might be a promotion going on, so you can get some discount right now, I think. I always sign up for them, so if you guys want, look for promotions or whatever you can. And yeah, or just inbox me and let me know. This Les Paul is awesome. Get 10. There we go. Okay, that's the code. That's the code. I thought Maria was telling me like, hey, you're done. Get 10 minutes or something. I am going pretty over, but this is the last session. I always sign up for these last sessions. Maria knows I sign up for these last ones because I tend to talk a little bit more. Yeah, so get 10 is a code, guys. So if you want, I'm assuming it's 10% off, then use that code, get 10. Starts lesson. Oh, yep, that's true. No, my students, laugh sometimes because I'll show them some speed stuff and then they'll be like, Mister, you're showing off. And I'm like, look, it's not to show off, it's to show you that you can achieve this by doing these, whatever it is I'm showing them. But very cool, guys. So there's a code. If you guys, I think I'm pretty good. If you guys have any more questions, just shoot them over here. But I think I'm good. I think we're good to pretty much finish it off. I hope you enjoyed this live session. They're always a lot of fun. And again, I'm looking over here for see if you guys have any questions. I'll bring it over here now since I'm not using this part. But yeah, also if you guys have any questions, shoot them on my inbox on that Take Lessons profile. I'll be glad to answer. All right, I think we're pretty done. Maria, I think we're good to go. Time to go home, call it a day. Amelia, I hope you have a good one. I didn't get to hear too much from you and Alexander. So I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you maybe in the next time I do this, whenever that may be. Thanks, Amelia. Have a good one. Take care, guys. I'm out.